Hello and welcome to Inbox. I'm Nina Ulbrich. Our first story explores the future of mobile technology and how it will transform the way we see life. What was reserved for science fiction has become a reality for smartphone users, as they're given the ability to experience the digital and real world at the same time. 3D catalogs, interactive paintings, magazine models who come to life are just a portion of what's to come. About time or information overload? You decide.
Imagine finding parking on the spot or the hottest restaurant in town all in seconds. And you can today with the magic of augmented reality.
Augmented reality is the ability to insert and overlay digital and virtual information into the real world.
Track Lord is the Marketing and Media Relations Manager for Metaio, the worldwide leader in augmented reality technology. Their mobile application, Genio, is an augmented reality browser that allows the user to see the world in a whole new way.
You just be able to recognize things and see things and immediately get information from them using your smartphone. Imagine the ability to browse life like we browse the web.
It might seem revolutionary, but the technology started in 1962 when cinematographer Morton Healy created the Sensorama, a simulator with visuals, sound, vibration, and smell. But augmented reality's first real-world application was the heads-up display in fighter jets. Symbols are projected onto a transparent glass screen, which takes away the distraction of looking at gauges and allows pilots to aim their weapons better. Heads-up displays are now starting to appear in cars. BMW is one of the pioneers.
The basic principle is it displays all the information such as speed, navigation. It projects it from a console on the dashboard onto the glass. Only the driver can see this.
Augmented reality will ease activities such as travel and shopping, and can even be applied to medicine and education. With the technology's rapid development, its potential is endless.
It's very, very popular as a marketing medium, basically. It is a way to sort of drive people to advertising and retain engagement.
Many brands have adopted this new marketing strategy, including IKEA.
The 2013 IKEA catalog came with an augmented reality application designed to recognize various pages in the catalog and overlay, for instance, animated 3D furniture. And instead of seeing a video, you actually look at the catalog with your camera in the app, and it visualizes the bed right there on the page, and the drawers open and shut and show you exactly how it works.
Ever wonder how this will look in your home? There's an app for that as well. Mitsubishi has worked with Metaio to create an app that allows customers to see products at their actual size inside their home. Augmented reality is also used to replace manuals and show real-time instructions. Another great use is in art museums, where your smartphone replaces long audio tours. When you point your device at each painting, an overlay of information displays in real time. But the technology is not just for mobile apps.
One of the really first huge deployments of augmented reality in the commercial space was the Lego example. So now in every Lego store in the world, you can walk in, grab a box off the shelf, hold it up to this flat screen that has a camera on top, and visualize the entire model animated right on top of the box. It's so successful that Lego internally calls it the nag factor, because once a kid sees the model on top of the box, there's no way the parents are going home without buying that.
But the main point of augmented reality is not that it's mobile.
Further interaction using vision, really. I mean, that's what augmented reality is about. It's about vision. And of course, the glasses.
And Google is at the forefront. Google Glass allows users to take pictures and video, get directions, send messages, and get information simply by speaking to the glasses. But their expected launch in 2014 has been met with criticism. Distracting users is the obvious problem, leading lawmakers in West Virginia to propose a ban on drivers from wearing Google Glass. Privacy is also a concern, with many cinemas and bars saying they will ban the glass as well. But there is one major hurdle augmented reality faces.
It's really going to come down to the devices. You know, we can only go so far with the software. And once these device manufacturers get serious about it, that's really the point where we'll see it everywhere.
Once the hardware catches up, we can expect to see things differently.
It's really about what we call the augmented city. And that's sort of this vision that in the near future, every surface, every object, every environment becomes some sort of trigger or portal to the digital.
Hollywood has had their visions of augmented reality, from heads-up displays in Iron Man,
Heads-up display, check.
to computers in Minority Report, and maps in Avatar. And now we are closer than ever to making those visions a reality.
They're discovering something from the childhood past that they get to relive, or they're seeing something that they've never seen before, and they're just, it's like you get to scamper throughout the arcade and play what catches your eye.
Now that you've seen the future of technology, can you remember life without smartphones and computers? Before video game console, there was an arcade. We will take you to San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf, where we've uncovered a massive collection of coin-operated machines from nearly every decade of the past century. This arcade has something for everyone, so whether you're 9 or 90, its nostalgia is undeniable. This is Musée Mechanique, a hands-on, coin-operated, vintage arcade. Anyone old enough to remember penny arcades will get a wave of nostalgia from what they see here. Marionettes with happy feet, fortune tellers, all dioramas of executions and opium dance. For their age, these machines are in excellent shape and all are ready to play. That tall man skating around the museum is Dan Zielinski, the owner.
The reaction from my visitors are, in my eyes, hysterical. They're discovering something from the childhood past that they get to relive, or they're seeing something that they've never seen before, and they're just, it's like you get to scamper throughout the arcade and play what catches your eye.
As you enter, you are greeted by the famous laughing cell. It's just a big mechanical doll, but it's such a bizarre thing. One of the most eye-catching displays is a huge diorama of a carnival with over 100 individual moving parts. The amount of detail is simply amazing. This collection has more than 300 arcade attractions from all over the world. Believe it or not, a bingo game started it all. Dan Zielinski's father, Edward, won a bingo game back in 1933. His grand prize? A can of oil. He sold that for 50 cents and bought his first penny arcade game. Back in the 1930s, coin arcades were just as common as cell phones today. They were everywhere, in restaurants, cafes, pharmacies, even gas stations. In the 1950s, coin arcades started offering games based on bowling, baseball, soccer, and shooting ranges. Zelinsky's collection has them all. Dan doesn't know how much his collection is worth today, and it's not for sale. Unlike most penny arcade collections, which are closed to the public, Dan's is open, just like his father insisted.
My dad decided to make this a private collection open to the public because he wanted as many people as possible to enjoy and have as much fun with the machines as he and the rest of his friends were having. So the general public could just come in and enjoy it, and he found it completely intriguing to watch people pushing buttons and interacting with the machines physically, because you physically have to interact with these machines to get them to function.
What began with father and son is now in its third generation. When this crybaby machine needed a new voice, Dad turned a late-night baby feeding into the recording session.
When my second son was 3 months old, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was my turn to feed him. So I was just about to give him a bottle, and I realized I needed a new recording for this machine. So instead of giving him a bottle, I gave him a microphone. And so he was crying because he was really hungry, you know, but I needed that darn recording for the crybaby machine.
And each game here has its own history. This arm wrestling challenge is not that easy. Julie Andrews knows that firsthand. It became famous in the Disney movie, The Princess Diaries.
Julie Andrews actually beat that, which really shocked the director because he thought I made it easier for her, but I didn't.
You do it, go! Oh, yes! Oh, got it. Give me 5. 5? 5. Oh.
At Museum Mechanique, you can challenge your strengths and also your feelings. There are sex appeal testers, kiss meters, and of course, a photo booth. It still produces excellent black and white photo strips to preserve a memory. Another classic, mechanical musical instruments. Most have funny melodies. Many are capable of playing like a small orchestra. As machines get older, they only get better. Thanks to the constant maintenance and care Dan gives to each one.
This museum to me represents my childhood, my teenage years, and my adult life, and hopefully many more years to come. It just is a way to express myself through maintaining a great collection and watching people react to that. It means the world to me.
These machines were invented to make people smile, and they still do their job today.
It was the great push that was implemented by General Dwight D. Eisenhower. And he said, let's build them faster than the German U-boats can sink them.
Continuing in history, let's go back to World War II and the ugly duckling, President FDR's nickname for the mass-produced cargo vessels known as Liberty ships. Manned by the merchant marines, over 2,700 ships were produced during the war, but only 2 remain intact today, and one is lucky to call San Francisco home.
Can you hear it in the wind and deep in her hull? Those are the echoes of wartime crossings, of the great oceans, and of her brave crews who served their nation proudly. Listen closely, and you too will hear her song.
We're the merchant marine, and we sail across the sea as the U-boats torpedoes hunt for hulls that they can reach.
The SS Jeremiah O'Brien is a survivor, a World War II veteran who carried America to victory. And at 70 years old, she is one of just 2 Liberty ships to still be afloat today. Built fast and cheaply, she is lasting evidence of a time when America's industrial output was unequaled.
This model is a replica of the Liberty ship which we built in 4.5 days, and we expect to build many more of them in a shorter time.
Allie Whalen, ship assistant on the O'Brien Memorial and Museum, recalls the efficiency of wartime production.
It was the great push that was implemented by General Dwight D. Eisenhower. And he said, let's build them faster than the German U-boats can sink them. So in all told, they built 2,750 plus of these exact ships.
But with the majority of American men serving in the war, the government turned to an unlikely shipbuilder, women, trading bonnets for overalls.
All the day long, where the rain or shine, she's a part of the assembly line. She's making history, working for victory. Rosie, the riveter keeps the shop.
Women labored on the assembly line to produce Liberty ships, to carry their husbands to battle, which served as many's final voyage. Ship's docent, Angelo Damati, remembers the O'Brien's role in the Battle of D-Day, June 6, 1944.
She was in England when the invasion started. She became a troop ship. She went back and forth between England and Normandy 11 times, each time carrying between 300 and 400 soldiers.
And we may not have won the war if it weren't for the brave men who manned these Liberty ships, the Merchant Marines.
Paradise Street, way, hey, blow the man down, a pretty young damsel I chanced for to meet.
They were civilian volunteers whose casualties were 3 times greater than the armed forces. It was one of the nation's most dangerous jobs, and their role in the victory was nearly forgotten. In peacetime, the Jeremiah O'Brien was relegated to storage in a mothball fleet. She languished while almost all of her sister ships were sold for scrap. Until 1976, when she was plucked from an almost certain extinction and made the centerpiece of a national memorial.
To sail and preserve history for future generations, and to specifically remember the Merchant Marines and the Naval Armed Guards. So we sail her in memory of them.
Open to the public since 1980, her ship-shape condition today is due in large part to the ship's volunteers.
A large portion of our volunteers are sailors. We use all these old sailing techniques, and they are the people who actually understand how to use them.
One of those old salts is Tony Cahill.
Tony is an everyday warrior. He's a very special gentleman. He can splice metal wire, and that in and of itself is a dying art.
Apparently I'm the only guy that knows how to do this.
So there's a lot of specialized talents that are here, and people come aboard to use those talents.
Thanks to their hard work, the O'Brien still slips from her dock to sail the bay 4 to 6 times a year.
O'Brien's not just a star on the sea, but off of it as well.
Her engine room was transformed into a movie set for the Academy Award-winning film Titanic, and has been the leading lady in several other productions.
The engine is still like new damn near. It's a triple expansion, double acting steam engine. We still have our original piston rings in it.
Built to have a lifespan of 5 years, the OBrien's survival is almost miraculous. At 70 years old, with an engine that refuses to quit, she's planning a voyage quite like any other.
Our goal is in 2019, for the 75th anniversary of Normandy, is to sail this ship back to Normandy.
And this final voyage ensures her call to history.
This is SS Jeremiah O'Brien, San Francisco.
Will not be silenced.
Thank you for watching tonight's Inbox. I'm Mike Scano, and good night.